let's talk warm-hearted and cold-hearted, since this was basically maliciously requested in a way that was sort of an insult, but whatever. But I guess, like, my definitions on them. And the first thing I'd say, if you abuse animals, you're a cold-hearted fuck, and I don't like you. This should be obvious, though, coming from me. But my basic standing on them is they're meaningless words because they are used so loosey-goosey with so many different definitions that calling someone warm-hearted or good-hearted or cold-hearted just kind of means nothing. It's you subjecting your own morals onto another person when that other person probably doesn't know your morals. So they're just sitting there like, fuck you? It just winds up being nothing more than a weak attempt at emotional manipulation to either make that person feel like shit and shame them into behaving the way you want them to behave, or to make them feel unnecessarily good about themselves in a way that they think of you more positively and will continue to do the behavior that you personally decided is good. So, that's my standing on using those words, but for me, to actually say someone is truly cold-hearted, in my opinion, would be someone who absolutely does not care for any living being whatsoever. So, someone who goes out and wants to kill all of the trees and all of the deer for no other reason other than just killing all life. That would be a cold-hearted person. Someone who hates all living things, doesn't care for any living thing at all whatsoever. I guess that would be a cold-hearted person. And I would definitely say someone who doesn't give a shit about any kind of animal or a child at all, and just wants to see them suffer and die. Yeah, that person's a dick. Cold-hearted? Maybe not quite, but a dick, yeah. They're a dick. But not giving a shit about an average adult human, that has nothing to do with being cold-hearted, warm-hearted, or any of that other crap, because honestly, most adult humans suck. Not all of them, most of them. And it's just like the old thing of, like, if someone, like, fucking cans themselves, you shouldn't feel sorry for them. There's no reason to. Now, if, like, a little kid accidentally, like, whacks themselves in the balls with a baseball bat, okay, that's a little different. I mean, first off, he probably didn't know that hurt. Second off, it's like a little 3 or 4-year-old kid or whatever. And then, like, warm-hearted, honestly, with that, there's no real definition for that for me. The closest that would come to a definition with that for me would be someone who works a lot in a charity of some kind and doesn't, like, abuse people. And by abuse, I mean, like, actual abuse, you know, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, that stuff. So, yeah. But again, I think those words are ultimately meaningless and without purpose, and there's really no reason to use them unless you're just trying to control somebody to either do or don't do a behavior that you do or don't like. Otherwise, like, why are you using these words? Especially on a total stranger. If it's someone you don't know very well, or don't know at all, then yeah, you're just, like, why bother? Because they don't know your morals. And everyone's opinion on these words are going to be different based almost entirely on their own morals. Like, some people are would consider someone being mean to another adult, like, flipping the bird to be someone who's cold-hearted or some shit. Me, it's like, no. Flipping someone off, or not feeling bad for somebody, or picking a fight with someone, or not holding a door open for somebody, that's not cold-hearted behavior. That's just regular adult behavior. And really, if you go out into the world, yeah, that's the way most adults are. They flip each other off. Some hold open doors, some don't. Depends on how close you are to the door. And people enjoy picking fights, too. Some do, some don't. Me. Just don't pick around and fight in the middle of the street and, like, stop tracking and shit. Yeah, that'd be kind of a dick move, but I wouldn't say those people are cold-hearted. Or whatever. And I would definitely say that, yeah, people who pick fights and, like, flip people off, they can definitely be considered a warm-hearted person. Because being a dick to other human beings is kind of deserved, because most human beings are dicks in the first place. Like, the vast majority of the human race is not exactly nice all the time. Most of them are usually only nice and friendly to those with whom they are friendly with. You know, friends, family, lovers, people they have to be around, like coworkers, in-laws, you know, those sorts of people. But like a random stranger on the street, if they flip you off, you're probably just gonna flip them off back, and shit like that. You hear some random fucker somewhere else accidentally, like, whack their hand with a hammer or some shit, you're not gonna go, oh my god, I feel so horrible, I feel so terrible for them. You're gonna go, okay, sucks for him, I guess. He's an idiot for hitting himself with a hammer, but sucks for him, I guess. Whatever, not my problem. I have no idea who this person is, I've never seen them. Now, if it's something much bigger, like 2,000 people got blown up by a bomb, or like half a country got wiped out by a genocide, that's a little bit different because that affects things on a political scale, on a global scale, and actually has a chance to actually affect where you live and shit. And ultimately, humans are self-centered. If it doesn't affect their life at all, they don't really have much of a reason to care unless they want to make themselves care, and most people won't do that. And I personally don't bother, because that's not worth the stress as far as I'm concerned. Because if you spend all your time worrying and feeling bad about other people, you're going to make yourself miserable. Like, just flat out, you're going to make yourself miserable. You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to make yourself unhappy. Unless you are one of those people that actively, frequently works in charity groups to specifically help, like starving kids in Africa, to use the horribly overdone stereotype, then yeah, worrying about them, a little different because you're actively doing stuff to help those people. A little bit different. But for like the average person, feeling bad for some rando isn't healthy, especially if you're doing it constantly. Then you're just going to be stressed out over other people's problems. So this became a multi-topic video. So yeah.